Do you know that the word humerus is actually not an English word? It is a word that was coined from a Latin word. So, and this Latin word humerus actually means the upper arm. It is also called a funny bone as well. But actually, really, this bone is not smiling. So why do they call it a funny bone? They call it a funny bone because there is a part of this humerus that when you hit it against a hard object, it causes what? Some kind of funny feeling. So, and that is the reason why they call it a funny bone. So if you're new here, you're welcome to the SSG Nation. So I would like you to hit the notification icon together with the subscribe button, because that is going to notify you when I create a video. So let's just dive into the video. Hi guys. Yeah, welcome back. So we said we are going to be discussing the humerus. Humerus. And now, I said the acronym for describing a bone. Now, the acronym is AT-SLAP. So, we said this A, okay, we made it squared in our last video, so let's use it this way. AT-SLAP. So the A, the first one is AKA, or any fact about the bone. Any fact about the bone. So the T is the type of bone, the S is the shape, the L is the location, and the A is articulation, and the P is the part of the bone. Now let's start with AKA. So this humerus, it doesn't really have another name, but the fact about the bone is that it is the strongest and the longest bone of the upper arm. So that is a fact about about the humerus. Now, what about the type? It is actually a long bone. It is a long bone. And talking about the shape, you can strike it out. And the next one is location. So we've said that under this fact that it is it is the strongest and the longest bone of the upper arm. But you can still repeat it by saying it is located in the in the upper arm. And the next one is articulation. Articulation is talking about where it comes from when it comes to joint, and then where it is inserted. So it comes from the scapula actually. So we have a kind of cavity in the scapula. So this cavity, we did it in our scapula. If you have not watched that, you can actually go back there now. You can type scapula by this junction. Now, this junction is called what? It's called the glenoid cavity. Glenoid cavity. So the humerus, the head of the humerus is rotates with this glenoid cavity right here. So right here. And now it comes downward to articulate with two other bones right here. So and that is the radius and the ulna. So the radius and the ulna. So this is the glenoid cavity of the scapula. So you can say it articulates superiorly. So this is the humerus now. So it articulates superiorly with the With the glenoid cavity of the scapula. And then inferiorly with the With the radius and ulna. Radius and ulna. As simple as that. And finally, about the part of the humerus, I'm going to do the board. I'm bringing an ideal diagram so we can start using that. So stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back. Now, let's start with the diagram of the humerus. So before I start explaining it, or I can just do the two simultaneously. Now, to draw the humerus, the first thing first, try to write 1. So, use 1 now. And now, try to bring in an hemispherical head. So, and now, draw it inwards. And after doing that, this side, do the same, but it shouldn't be hemispherical like this. So, just do it this way. Now, what is this part all about? This is just the proximal end of the Of the humerus. When we say proximal, it means closer to the point of attachment. And it means this place is attached somewhere. So this is called the head of the humerus. The head of the humerus. Now, this head of the humerus, what is the function? It articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula that I explained the other time. So in the last thing actually, this place. So this point is where the humerus, where it fixes its head. So that is the function of this hemispherical head. The function is to do what? Is to form some kind of joint with this glenoid cavity of the scapula. And the name of that joint is called glenohumeral joint. Glenohumeral joint. Which means a joint between the glenoid cavity right here and the what? And the head of the humerus. As simple as that. Now, after talking about the head, the next thing is this junction. So this junction is called the anatomical neck. Anatomical neck. So that is the name of this junction. And now, this point is called the greater tubercle. The greater what? The greater tubercle. And now, at this point, we call it the lesser tubercle. Lesser tubercle. And now, you realize that this part is the lesser tubercle, and this place is the greater tubercle, right? It is separated by this one. So this one, because it is between these two tubercle. In anatomy, if they say between, the word between means inter. So now, it means this line is going to be called inter. Now, inter what? It is between what? It is between two tubercles. So it means inter, between tubercles. Intertubercle. So English is going to cheat us and I'm going to use intertubercular sulcus. So that is the name of that of this line. That is a sulcus between the what? Between two tubercles. I should be talking about the meaning of sulcus with you as well, but let's leave that for now. When we meet CNS, we talk about sulcus very well. Now, back to the issue now. We said this is the greater tubercle. Then what is the function? When we talked about the head, we talked about its function. It forms the glenohumeral joint with the what? With the scapula. So what is the function of this greater tubercle and lesser tubercle? Strictly, their function is for muscle attachment. As simple as that. So their function is what? Is to serve as what? As muscle attachment. Now, after that, we have some kind of V-shaped structure right here. Just try to write V. So, and this V-shaped structure is called the deltoid tuberosity. Now, what is the meaning of this deltoid tuberosity? This deltoid tuberosity is actually a V-shaped structure that helps to do what? That serves as an attachment. So it serves as a what? As a surface of attachment for the what? For the deltoid muscle. So there is a muscle that used to get itself attached to this point, and that muscle is called deltoid muscle. So this deltoid tuberosity is actually the structure that provides the surface for what? For muscle attachment. As simple as that. Now, you come down with like this. Now, behind the humerus, we can't see the back view from here, but behind this humerus, we have a kind of mark called the what? The radial groove. Radial what? Radial groove. And now, what is the function of that radial groove? The function of that radial groove is just to guide the radial nerve. So the function is to guide the radial nerve. To guide radial nerve. So, as simple as that. Now, let's continue drawing the humerus. So, to the distal end now. Now, after doing this, what next? We are going to introduce what we call the condyles. So, the first one will be like this. So, the other one, something of this nature. And the last one will be like this. Now, what are all these things right here? They are just two. The first one is this first side here. So this side is called the capitulum. Capitulum. And now, this place is called the trochlea. Trochlea. So, what are they all about and what are the functions? Now, this capitulum, it serves as some surface of articulation, just like this head of the humerus articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula. So this capitulum, it also articulates inferiorly like this with another bone, and that bone is called the radius. The what? The radius. So the capitulum, it articulates with the what? With the radius. And now, how do I used to remember this? I'm not taking this radius to that side. Obviously now, if capitulum articulates with the radius inferiorly, it means the trachea will articulate with what? It will articulate with the ulna inferiorly. These two bones are the bone of the lower half. So now, how am I sure that the capitulum goes for the radius and the trachea goes for the what? For the ulna? It's very simple. Actually, I'm not a football lover, but I'm damn sure that everybody knows about Cristiano Ronaldo. And then the nickname they used to give to that man is CR7. So I don't need the 7 right now. What I need is just the CR. This C is for the capitulum, and this R is for the radius. As simple as that. So once the radius is out of my way, there's no point in doubting whether the trachea will articulate with the ulna or the radius. So as simple as that. Now, what next? The next thing is that superiorly to this capitulum, it means right here now. So, and here as well. Don't forget, I call this capitulum and trachea a collective name, and that is what? Condyle. Condyle. Now, the word above in anatomy is said to mean a lot of things like the superior epi. So, but epi is what we need now. So, if this and this, if they are condyles, it means above them, we are going to have some surfaces called epicondyle. Epi what? Epicondyle. So, and this one too will be called epicondyle. Now, if they are called epicondyle, then we have a problem. And what is the problem? Which epicondyle is this and which epicondyle is this? Now, it's really not a problem. What is medial and one is lateral? I mean, one is medial rather, and one is lateral. Now, how do you decide which one is medial and which one is lateral? So, these humerus, it's actually the right humerus from here. So, it's fixing with our scapula right here. Now, if that be the case, it means if I do like this bone right here is my radial, radial bone, the radius, and this is the ulna. And the radial right here, capitulum, it's articulated with the radius. And then here, it's articulated with what? With the ulna. Now, if that be the case, it means this is away from what? From the midline of my body. So I'm going to draw an imaginary line. This will be the middle line, right? The midline rather. So away from it will be lateral like that. And this one will be closer to what? To the medial. What do I mean by that? This side will be closer to this place. So this place will be closer to this place. So because this is closer to the midline, we call it the medial. And because this one is away from this midline, we call it the lateral. So which means this epicondyle will be the lateral what? Lateral epicondyle. And this one will be the what? The medial epicondyle. And now, if that be the case, what are their functions? So the function of these two guys right here is also to serve as an attachment for what? For muscles as well, as simple as that. Now, there's something you should know right here, and that thing is that this ulnar nerve, I was talking about some kind of funny sensation when we eat our funny bone. So, where we eat actually is what? Is the medial epicondyle. So, the posterior part of the medial epicondyle, the ulnar nerve, it runs through that region, and that is what we eat whenever we eat our funny bone, and that is what brings about that funny sensation. That is why they call the humerus the funny bone. Now, back to this discourse. I still have just two things to talk about more. I'll do that in the next scene. But let me just quickly do a recap right here now. So the proximal part of this bone is the head. And it's articulated with what? With the glandular cavity of the what? Of the scapula. And after that, we have a constricted neck. Oh, I forgot something. And this junction, we have something called the neck as well. So the neck. But it is not anatomical neck yet. It's called the surgical neck. Surgical what? Surgical neck. So it's called the surgical neck because it is the most frequently fractured part of the what? Of the humerus. So it is very easy for it to break. So that's why they call it the surgical neck, as simple as that. So let me just rub the board and come with a new diagram and do some kind of review and a summary of everything we talked about here. So I'll be right back. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, welcome back. So let's quickly draw the diagram of the humerus back now. So the first thing is to do what? Write your one, and then turn it into what? An hemispherical head. So same thing to this side, but not. Now, while this junction, try to bring down your deltoid tuberosity. Keep on coming down. So, and then you diverge a little bit. So, same thing at this junction. So, you add your capitulum right here. and trochlea right there. Now, let's quickly level it and talk about different landmarks. Now, this place is called the head, and the function of the head is to do what? Is to form a joint or to articulate with the glenohumeral cavity of the scapula. So, and after that, this place is called the what? It's called the anatomical neck. Anatomical neck. And now, beside it, you have the what? You have the greater tubercle. So, the greater tubercle. And then you have the lesser tubercle right here. Lesser tubercle. So the function of these two guys is to serve as an attachment for muscles. And the line between them is called the intertubercular sulcus. They also call it bicipital groove as well. Intertubercular sulcus. So after that, this intertubercular sulcus, the function, oh, I forgot about that. It actually guides the tendon of the upper arm. So then this is the deltoid tuberosity now. Deltoid tuberosity. So the function of deltoid tuberosity is to serve as a surface of attachment for the deltoid muscle. And the next one, right here, we have the capitulum. So it articulates inferiorly with the radius. So, and here is the trochlea. So it articulates inferiorly with the ulna. And then, superiorly to this capitulum, we have the lateral epicondyle. Lateral epicondyle. And here we have the medial epicondyle. Medial epicondyle. So these two guys, they serve as an attachment for muscles as well. But behind this medial epicondyle is the ulnar nerve. So which is responsible for the funny sensation we feel whenever we eat our funny. So as simple as that. Now let me just add something to it, and that is okay. You're talking about the radial groove here as well. The radial groove. So the function of the radial groove is to do what? Is to serve as what? Is to guide the radial nerve. So as simple as that. And this means we've come to the end of this video. So if you enjoyed the video, do make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time watching a video from the SSG Nation, do make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button so we can notify you when we create. Sign out.